Hi, and welcome to Unstoppable Stories That Move, a podcast with a purpose. Our mission is to raise money for medical research while shining a light on ordinary people who do extraordinary things, from everyday athletes and artists, scientists and survivors, caregivers and changemakers. These people relentlessly pursue their dreams, pushing through pain and setbacks. But why? Why do they do it? And what makes them unstoppable? I'm your host, Hed Dahlquist. You can hear my story in episode 1. And now, stay tuned to listen as these seemingly normal people share their stories of resilience and inspire us to keep moving forward. Let's get to it. So hi, everyone. I'm your host, Hed Dahlquist, zooming in from Afton, Minnesota. So thanks for tuning in today. I have a really special episode for you. Today, it's all about Japan. And it's a roundtable with 3 of my unstoppable guests. We have Christelle Douillet, Rhea Deroian, and Tom Pedersen. Today, we're going to recap the Tokyo Marathon and talk about all things traveling Japan, because we all love talking about our hobbies of running and traveling. So if you're anxious about running Tokyo or traveling to Japan, don't be. It was a great experience, but I'm super relieved the marathon is over and we all made it. So we'll start with a quick intro of our unstoppable athletes. So first of all is Christelle, who was one of my very first guests, who inspired me to start this podcast in Wilmington last year, 2025, because she was finishing her 300th marathon along with her friend Charlotte. Christelle is a biochemist who moved to the United States from North Carolina, from France, to do research in the lab. She works on arsenic, and she met a guy and stayed here. She was a dancer who turned into a runner and has now done over 300 marathons or ultras. So hi, Christelle. Can you say hi?
Hello, Sally. Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm very happy to talk with you again, especially about the Tokyo race in Japan, which was a fabulous experience.
Oh, great. Yeah, and you can hear Christelle's whole story in episodes 5 and 16. Our next guest, Rhea, is also from North Carolina, not far from Christelle, and she is a grant writer working for the university who loves to travel. She started running in college and has stuck with it because health is wealth. And she has run every day for over 12 years. That makes her a streaker. She's run over like 4,500 days in a row. And she's run about 40 marathons. And running has helped her to leave an abusive relationship. And today, she runs with her dog and just can't wait to get home to her new hubby, who I also got to meet in Japan. You can hear her story in episodes 30 and 31. So, Rhea, how many days in a row are you at now?
4,485 as of today.
Wow.
So it's about 12 years, 3 months and change.
Wow. And does your dog run with you every day?
No, oh gosh, no. I walk him definitely every day, but no, he can't. He's 9 now, and then we have a new rescue. So they get a couple miles in a day each, but then I do my runs separately.
Okay. And then lastly, our next guest is Tom Pedersen, who is a retired tax accountant from Minnesota. He's a lifelong runner since high school. He's run about 30 marathons. And after he retired, he had a minor stroke in 2017. And then later in 2023, he had heart bypass surgery. I mean, those are pretty hard stops. He's been recovering ever since. He's now run several more marathons. Tom is a husband, a father of 3, a grandfather of 6, and his story is featured in episodes 36 and 37. So, Tom, can you say hi?
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
Yeah.
And love talking about Japan, too. Japan and running, both things that can get me going pretty quickly.
Well, I just can't wait to hear what you guys thought about it. And by coincidence, just coincidence of life, as part of the magic that happens in life, all 4 of us ran London last year, April 2025, with marathon tours. I thought that was pretty fun. I found a picture of me and Rhea and Christelle together.
And another coincidence, I listened to your podcast, Rhea, your episode, and I realized you're a good friend with Jen. And I know Jen pretty well, too, because
Yes,
I've done a lot of races together.
I love that. And Christelle, you were so impressive. I remember at Marathon Tours in London last year, and they were asking the number of marathons that people had done. And I was so impressed by you. You are incredible. And I'm honored to be amongst both Christelle, Tom, and Sally in this conversation of just 3 people I'd really admire.
Well, I admire your streak. That sounds unfathomable to me. That's amazing.
So I really want to know, what is so special about Tokyo? Maybe Tom, you can talk about that.
Well, that was my first trip beyond beyond the Western Hemisphere, I guess. We'd been to Hawaii once a handful of years ago, but Japan was just a really special place, so different in so many ways, so many different levels. The flight over there was kind of a challenge, kind of turning your world upside down, AM to PM. We got there, and it was really fun to navigate and see such a different culture, and yet they were so technologically advanced. But the people were, I don't know, quiet and kind and very friendly. It was so easy to get around everywhere too. We spent the about 5 days in Tokyo, and after the marathon, we went down to Kyoto for another week. Again, just toured around, and that week we were still I was still a little slow after the marathon, but we had a real nice time. My legs got a real good workout too from climbing and up and down the steps to the subways everywhere. So by the time we got home, I felt like I had another workout beyond the marathon.
You said your legs are like rubber because you went climbing up and down all of those, the shrines. And Christelle, you said you did
And
the
the
same
shrines
thing
as
too.
well. Yeah.
You went up to the same shrines?
Yes, it's a very famous shrine that it's worth, just that shrine is worth the trip, in my opinion. So same as Tom, I stayed in Tokyo till Monday, the day after the race, and then I went to Kyoto and spent a week there, and I absolutely loved it. And I went to Tokyo just because I wanted to do the majors. I was not particularly interested in Japan before that. I mean, I love travel, but Japan was not on my top list. But now, oh my, I just want to go back as soon as possible because it was so amazing. And like Tom said, it was surprisingly not difficult to manage the traveling, all the logistic, not speaking any Japanese and not reading Japanese, of course. I was a little concerned, but it was actually very easy to manage everything.
If I can jump in, we had a good experience in Tokyo. One of the perks of being on the marathon tour with the marathon tour group is that they had a bus tour of Tokyo one day. I think it was on Thursday that we were there, Thursday or Friday. And the tour guide was Japanese, and he spoke impeccable English. And after a while, somebody asked him, "How did you come upon, such a great fluency in English?" And he said, "Well, he had lived in the U.S. from ages 5 till 10, and then went back to Japan. So he was really very culturally bilingual." And but one of the things he told us, we went to a shrine in Tokyo. He showed us how to pray at the shrine. And so he says, you make sure you've got a couple of coins with you. You walk up to the gate, and you toss your coins in, and then you bow twice, and then you clap twice to get the attention of the spirits. And then you say your prayer, or think your thought, and then you bow again and leave. And so that served us well during the rest of the trip when we went and visited shrines. We felt like we weren't completely newbies to the whole thing. So we felt like we could participate a little bit. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and in some of the shrines, you take a drink, but I don't remember the details of that. And Rhea, you had spent some other time, quite a bit of time in Japan before this, and I just want to thank you for the recommendation. When we were in Hiroshima, we stayed at a place called the World Friendship Center, where they gave us all the tours, and it helped understand what happened with the atomic bomb from the Japanese point of view. So Rhea, how was this trip for you?
I was very fortunate that I spent some time in Japan when I was in grad school. And I will say, having been there and loving it, I appreciated it so much more on my next visit, this past visit. And I think that comes with age, experience, being better traveled. And I fell in love with Japan even more. this time around. And that was a big part to the race and how impressed I was with the race, which I know we'll get into. But the culture and how clean and, like, as Tom mentioned, how easy it is to just get around everywhere. And then I really, really, really love the culture and the bowing. And as a run streaker, I had to run every day over there. And that's tough with the time change. As Tom mentioned, your AM is PM. And so your hours are all thrown off. And I have to run every calendar day. So even if I'm tired, I still have to go out. And going out in the streets of Tokyo and Kyoto and running, and it's like the biggest thing is running in a city. If you've ever run in New York City, outside of like Central Park, it's pretty tough. And so you have to, like, you play kind of Frogger across traffic. And with the run streak, I'm of the belief I can't stop, right? So if I have to do one continuous mile without stopping. And my favorite part of Tokyo was I would hit like traffic in, my daily streak run, and the cars and the traffic and the drivers and everybody. And like, I always obey traffic laws, but it would be like this gas station where they're pulling in and they would always stop for me and they'd give a little bow. And I'm like, I just fell in love with that little bow everywhere, where I just thought, like, I never worried about getting hit, and I've been hit 3 times in my neighborhood by a car in the last 10 years. And just to feel so safe in, like, they just have such a different culture of collectivism and respect, and like for the greater good of the city and community, that running there and being a part of that was just like, it was just very special. And I don't think I truly appreciated it my first visit. And so to get back and like go, as Christelle said, like, there's so many places in the world that you have this like deep desire to travel to. And to kind of be forced my hand, like, it sounds so silly, forced my hand to go back to Japan, this beautiful country that I probably wouldn't have been on the top of my list to visit again. But because I'm doing the majors and was doing my 6-star, I went back. And then to get to really experience and appreciate that culture and I fell in love with it even more. And yeah, my husband is obsessed. So he's like, we're going back. So I'm already planning the next trip, because it's incredible. And yeah, as Tom mentioned, as Christelle mentioned, you don't think you'll love it as much as you do. And then you get there and you're like, oh man, they're living over here. And it's very special.
Yeah. Tom, did you have a comment?
Oh, I think that you said something about for the greater good. That seemed like almost like a theme you could feel there.
Yeah.
People were very very conscientious about keeping their surroundings clean and being courteous and watchful of one another.
Yeah, it's special.
Quiet also, like in the train, the subway. I mean, nobody's yelling, nobody's rude. Everything is quite orderly. I'm from France. We're Latin people. We're like a little bit of chaos. So I was a little concerned that would be a little too rigid for me, too inflexible. But actually, it was not. That was not the case. It felt very comfortable and not stressful. So that was great.
I have to reflect on that too. I was a little bit worried about coming across as the boorish American, and I did not feel like that at all. I mean, I learned how to say thank you in Japanese. That was about the only word I knew, and I used it. But contrary to my expectation, almost everybody could understand English. And in situations where they couldn't, Google Translate was a godsend. It was, again, people were more than kind and easy to engage with, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was just amazing. And during the race, I noticed it was the cleanest race I'd ever run.
So clean.
Yeah, everybody was out there with like a little trash bag, just like a little bag you'd get from Walmart or something, all along the course. And you could just give somebody your garbage. There's always a volunteer there.
And I have to say, the week after I went to Nagoya to do the women's marathon, it was the same thing. It was super clean, very well organized, very friendly, maybe even a little bit more The crowd was a little bit more cheerful, let's say, a little bit more expressive, but it was the same feeling of smooth, easy, clean, and friendly, and so that was a good experience. Tokyo being the biggest city, actually, I think it's the largest city in the world. I was wondering if it was representative of other places in Japan. So, of course, I visited only a few other cities, but as compared to Nagoya, yeah, the feeling was the same.
Can I just highlight really quick that Christelle just did Tokyo, and then she just said a week later she did another marathon in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so impressed by that. I just need to give her flowers really quick because Christelle, that's amazing.
I came back from Tokyo on Friday, and the Saturday, not the next day, but this past weekend, I did 100-miler on the Outer Banks.
Oh
I
man.
was so jet lagged. It was not good.
Christelle, that race is on my bucket list. I might need to pick your brain on that because that is an incredible race.
Yes, absolutely. You can call me. We can talk about the Black Bears Revenge. It's a
Are
great
you
race.
local to the Triangle? Do I know this?
Yes, actually, I'm in Chapel Hill.
Okay, I'm in Raleigh. We're gonna connect.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all. I just love her.
I know you will.
That is so incredible that you did not only Tokyo, but then you went and did another marathon in Japan. Like that is so cool. Yeah, I don't know how the rest of y'all like that. And like Sally, sorry if this like hijacks your talking points, but I would love to hear everybody's opinions of the race. Having, I know we all did London together. I know we've all done many other majors. That was my 6-star. I have all the international marathons being a US, American. That was my favorite of the international races. So I would love to hear, I loved it. So I just am so excited to hear everybody's opinion on what they liked about the race, what their opinions of that is.
Yeah, why don't you start? Let's get to it. I'd love to hear.
Okay, yeah.
Love to talk about the
I've been
race.
waiting for this because I would love to talk about it. Yeah, everybody talks about London being so fantastic for the course support and the crowds, and like hands down, London has that in spades. And so I think for people who thrive and need crowd support, maybe Japan is like not their favorite. Whereas me, I don't race with music. I don't race with headphones. I don't race for the crowd. Sally and I did Antarctica together. So I really I like a quiet race. I don't mind something where I kind of take it all in, whether it's nature, whether it's scenery, whatever the case may be. But I thought Tokyo was so well organized. I thought the volunteers were spectacular. I really liked the people who cheered on the sidelines. I have a girlfriend who's already done the 6-star, and she has done every world major before I did it. So she's my little major guru. So I talk to my friend Michelle every time, and she was on our Antarctica trip, Sally. And
I love her too.
Love Michelle. And she would just say like, here's what to expect. Here's this. And she had told me in Japan, when they cheer, they say ganbate, ganbate. And so I knew what it meant before I got there. And had I not known, maybe I wouldn't have appreciated it. But the entire race, I was hearing it, but it was very, it's a subdued culture. They're very respectful. And so I loved that quiet, respectful, kind of wholesome environment of like, London, they're all pretty drunk, which is like very fun because it's a vibe. But in Japan, it was just this quiet respect of like, you're doing something hard and like, thank you for coming. And we're so happy you're here. And like, you got this. We're so proud of you. And then at the end with the finish, getting my 6-star, all of the volunteers were just so incredible and just so proud. And then they had in their gloves, they had it taped onto their gloves, written in Japanese, and then also written in English, these really positive messages of like, you're amazing, congratulations, great job, you did it. And I just, what a thoughtful thing to do for people of like, you're not from here, but we want to cheer you in. If you're from here, please read this. If you're not, hopefully you understand this messaging. And it was just really positive. And I had the best day, and I just can't talk enough of what a great experience I had there. And yeah, and like, the course is like one thing, but I thought it was scenic. It's very flat. and you got to see so many cool things and see many streets that maybe I wouldn't have walked down myself if I hadn't had to go run there. And the turnarounds, as runners who have run very big things, turnarounds are hard. So out and backs can be very difficult. And, sometimes I've done marathons where it's just around a cone and I've fallen and ripped up knees trying to run around a cone because you're trying to race. And I thought they handled those very well. I thought the aid stations were very well set up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sports drinks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water, food. The bathroom stop. I took a quick pit stop at mile 16, and I had just a really positive day. And it's almost an hour off my PR, but I wasn't racing for speed. I was just racing I just want to appreciate the experience. And I had just the best day. So that was my vibe. I would so love to hear Sally and Christelle talk. I would love to hear, and hopefully you all enjoyed it as much as I did.
I'll make one little quick comment. So it's funny, in comparison with London, they ran out of water at mile 16. There was a water stop there. I think there were maybe some church volunteers, a school band or something. And I'm like, where's the water? And they just looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, do they have a hose? Is there a sink in there? Can you go down to that store on the corner and get some more water? And they just looked at me like I was a space alien. Like, in Japan, I don't think they ever would have done that. There's no way they would have went out.
They would have been mortified, I think.
Actually, so there was a big thing last year in Tokyo. It was exceptionally hot, even though the very next day
it snowed.
But I had several friends that ran Tokyo last year, and they were slower and later, Carl. And Tokyo, the race ran out of cups and then ran out of water, and it was a major problem, of course, for many runners. And that's why this year they allowed us to have the small soft flask, because the prior years you could not bring any containers, but this year you could bring not a hot water bottle, but you could bring in your vest the soft flask. But anyway, it looks like they did not run out of water this year, but I think we benefited from last year's experience.
I do agree with that. I do know from people who ran last year that they ran out of water, and that was tough. And I was very anxious about that. And so I think that they gave the soft cup, and then they did change the rules to allow for the tiny bottles. And I carried a tiny one with me of my own, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that part of the rules said you cannot bring, there was no plastic bottles. You could bring a juice box or a juice pouch, but it had to be unopened and sealed. So people told me, bring your powder with you, and then you have your sealed water bottle. Well, I couldn't find any. Yeah, so I had a bottle of Tropicana orange juice, or a box of it. And I did carry with me the little soft cup that they gave us. And
I love that.
I was surprised how much I actually used it at all the water stops. So that works. Okay, so I guess that comparison, I can't diss on London for that, for running out of water at one water stop.
Yeah, I was so expecting them to be, Japan, they're very rule-based, and I was terrified of I don't want to break the rules. And so, but then when I got in, I don't know if y'all saw this as well. They handed one of the Takari sweats, right when I got in. They were just very good about what do you need? Here's this. And then, so I'm hoping, as last year was maybe a good learning experience for them of okay, we need to be better prepared and allow people to maybe have a little bit more on them.
Yeah, I was impressed how many water stops they had. And I was pretty slow. I was back toward the 6-hour mark in total. And I found, though, in the last half a dozen miles, some of those tables for the water stops were getting taken down, but they didn't take them all down. They still had 2 or 3 tables set up for water. So I was, a little bit worried at first, but need not have been. They did take care of us. Another thing I was thinking about was the course and how it reminded me of a splat of something that when I looked at it, just all the out and backs, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to like this, but to my surprise, it was a lot of fun being able to watch runners, in some cases very far ahead, and in some cases, far enough behind that the sag wagons were starting to creep up. And but it was good people watching, and it made for a good distraction along the course.
A lot of runners do not like the out and back courses, but actually I love it. It's fun because so at one point, I think I was at mile 8 and I saw all the elite coming back the other way. It was amazing, including I saw one of the top women. She was at the very front, but then in front of me, it was a 90-degree angle turn. She was sick and she was throwing up while running at the same time.
Oh no.
And she threw up so like maybe 20 feet on the course. You know, I was fine with that. But it was impressive to see her keep moving so fast while, you know, doing this.
I have thrown up mid-run. That is a talent. It's hard.
But usually that makes me crawl on my hands and knees, you know, during an ultra.
I would
She
think
was
so.
running fast. And then, you know, at the point, I was looking for Sally with her little New York City Liberty crown. Unfortunately, it was too many people. I could not see you, but I love these out and backs. They give you, like you say, opportunity to see other runners faster, the elite, slower people. And then, for example, at one point, I don't know if you noticed, we went in front of a shrine who were celebrating the Matsuri, you know, the festival. And so they were carrying the portable shrine on their shoulder and making the shrine dance above the shoulder of many, many men carrying this super heavy portable shrine. So I stopped on my way in to look at them and I shot a little video. And then not much later, there was a turnaround. And so I passed in front of them again. I stopped again because it was so impressive. They were singing and dancing. And, you know, the out and back, it allows you to see the highlights, you know, the cityscape twice. You know, maybe you didn't realize there was something like you know, the towers or the temples, and on the second way back you can say, oh, it was here, and you can you know, pull out your camera and shot some pictures while you run, let alone stop and video them when it was so fun. But so I love the out and backs.
I actually agree with you. I think out and backs mentally can be very tough. And I think the last out and back, I was like, oh, how much further are we going?
Yeah.
Because it's getting hot and I'm kind of over this. But I do agree. I also had the same experience around mile 8 or 9 where the elites were going by. And I was like, oh, I never get to see the elites when I'm racing. And so it's so cool to get to see them run by and be like, oh, those are those special runners and we're running in their footsteps. And that's so lovely. But yeah, I do agree. I actually really loved the course. And like, while mentally and out and back can be like kind of, you know, if you're having a good day, it's great. If you're having a bad day, it can be a bit rough out there. But yeah, I had the same experience with Christelle. I actually really liked it. I loved being like, oh, there's a shrine, and then getting to, you know, on the out and back, and it's on the other side of the road. And then when you come back, you're like, oh, there it is, and you get to see it very up close. But yeah, I loved that.
I love that we passed in front of the Sensuji temple, you know, in front of that major gate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we saw you know, the Tokyo Tower, you know, the Eiffel Tower kind of thing. As a French, I was like, I love those little Eiffel towers that are a little bit everywhere. And then we ran in front of parks, and you know, there was so much to see. Someone had told me that the course was boring, that you see only like buildings, you know, like a skyscraper, and that's not true. We see a lot of things.
I agree.
I agree. We saw lots of places on the race course that we had seen on the tour bus a couple of days prior. And so that was real exciting too.
You mentioned mile 8. Well, mile 9 and mile 18 are basically the same spots. And so my husband Mike was able to come out and find me at 9. And then lo and behold, there he is again at 18. And Tom, you found me at about 11 after your bathroom stop.
I think so. Yeah, that was one of the. If there was a gripe about the course, I was warned that, you know, the bathroom stops can be a little far off the track. So I had to make a bathroom stop, and there was a line. It wasn't far off, but the line was a long ways. And the guy said it's going to be 5 minutes, and it ended up being more like 10.
Ooh.
And I was really glad I wasn't trying for a PR or anything, because that would have killed it right then and there. But that was a long line, and finally got through it. And then as I'm plugging along, I came upon Sally, and so that was, I guess that was the silver lining of it. I would not have bumped into Sally otherwise.
He came along to find me carrying a pair of Depends underpants. Because I too had been warned about the bathroom situation. People told me sometimes you lose time. It's too far off. They miss the cutoffs. So I was wearing my running shorts with a skirt over it, and then I carried a Depends underpants in my waistband in case of duress, in case I needed to use it. I'd be able to, and no one would be able to see. But fortunately, at mile 17, from out of the mist appeared a park building with a bathroom with no line. And I asked the volunteer, can I use that? And she said, yes. And I think I scared the heck out of her, because I leaped over the fence across the sidewalk to get into that park building. I was in and out in 2 minutes. It was great.
Wow.
I love that. I think that speaks to like whatever your personal experience of the day is, like very authentic. Cause like Tom, like I did a potty stop at mile 16 and I was in and out in like 45 seconds.
Oh,
like
lucky
it
you
was
guys.
so fast for me. There was nobody in line. They have like little cones after you like leave the race. And like I went behind a building, and then it was like the little cones like you had at soccer practice when you were a kid, like directing you. And then there was nobody in front of me, and they're pointing me, and there's like 4 volunteers. And I'm like, every other race I've done is just here's the portas, figure it out. And this one, I only stopped that one time, but it was just like I had like 4 volunteers and just me. And they're like, here you go, here it is. Watch your step, be careful. And then it was so fast that I was like, wow, that was like actually very efficient. It is like not to like, your experience and my experience are both like what we did. And so it's like me and then like Sally, you're like, no way. And it's just kind of the luck of the draw of like where the timing falls where it may.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah. But it is like, I will say, if you've ever been in a Port line, like an athletes village in Boston, where it's a big cluster. But like where it's like, what are we doing? Like, is there any sort of organization here? And then you get to Tokyo and you're like, everything's organized. It might be a wait, but like, that's fine. And like, I am normally like, I could be a kind of an anxious person sometimes if I'm like at a restaurant, I'm like waiting or whatever. And like my anxiety in Tokyo completely went away because I was like, it's organized. Everybody waits in line. I'll get my turn. Like it was just a very different experience.
I like that some of the porta potties, they put little cones like an exit ramp of the highway.
Yes.
And an entrance ramp to get back onto the course with those little cones directing. I didn't have to use the bathroom, and I was glad, but I noticed there were several that were 500 meters. There was even one, I noticed the sign that was 900 meters off the course. So by the time you come back from the party, you've done more than a mile already extra just to go to that.
Christelle, I actually learned that didn't mean it off the course. It meant till the next one. There's one here.
No.
It was 900 off the course?
Yes. There are signs that tell you how far ahead is the next stop for restroom. But no, there were several that were 400 meters, which is a quarter mile.
Yeah, that's a long way.
There was one that was 500 meters, and there was one I noticed. I mean, I almost
saw
stopped
one
to take
that
a
was
picture.
1.1, which I thought was crazy.
900 meters off course.
The one I left that said 500 meters, and I was like, I have been holding it the whole race. I'm gonna go, and it literally was like 0.05, like it was 5, like it was not far. So I don't know if that meant round trip or not, but like from what I have seen, and then like maybe the reports are like disagreeing, but from what I have seen, the one I exited on to use the restroom at said 500 meters, and it was definitely less than a tenth of a mile out and back, like total. So I don't know what that meant. Maybe if it's like a full line, maybe that's what that meant. But like, I definitely saw one that said 1.1K, and I was like, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And like, this is where I'm not the most informed on it, but I will say the one I exited said 500 meters and it was not 500 meters because I know a quarter mile and it was like less than a tenth out and back.
I was expecting to move a block or so, and I was astounded that it was just right there. You stepped off the course, past a fence, and you were in line. And there was a long line, but it was right there.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. The nightmare of not being able to find it. You can't see how many people are in line, and it could be anywhere from 0.1 to 1 kilometer off the course. That's how I was determined to hold it the whole way.
Yeah.
And I could have made it.
I think that goes to like the benefit of, when you go do anything international, it's not home. It's not normal. And it shouldn't be. That's the whole point of traveling somewhere new is it's like, okay, it's different from what I'm used to. Let me learn. What is it? Is it 1.1K? Is it 500 meters? We don't know, but we're going to learn. And I think that kind of like adds to the overall kind of nuance of the experiences. I don't know. It's fun. Like, it's different. It's not how we do things here. And that's part of the joy of this is how they do it in Japan.
Absolutely. I think it's really fun. Like, so for me, I'm gluten-free, so I'm extremely limited in the thing I can eat. But I was looking at the program. I was amazed at the food offer that they had. So they had the normal aid station, with Pocari Sweat, which is the equivalent to Gatorade, better taste than Gatorade, I think.
It's great.
And then water. But they had also this like welcoming food station with weird food. And it was almost like an ultra where, you have solid food offered. So I didn't partake, and I was wondering, did you have opportunity to eat like there was the pickled plums, of course. There were bananas, but there were little pancakes. There were little doll-shaped cakes, I think. Did you take any of those?
The most adventurous I got was a half a banana a couple of times.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't going to not do anything too different.
And in Nagoya, they had I couldn't partake because I'm a strictly gluten-free, but at some point they had something that sounded like cup of noodles on course. So that's something, again, that I've never seen during a road race. That was fun.
Yeah, I also did not partake. Like I had seen the videos on like Instagram and where there's such a variety of food. I have the weakest stomach on the planet, so I can't take anything different on race day. But I do think they have a plethora of like, if you have a strong stomach, you could eat a lot of like very tasty treats on the course.
I carry a disgusting amount of goo along with me.
A disgusting amount.
Yeah, and so I'm swallowing that every 3 or 4 or 5 miles, and so the banana looked good, and but that's really all that appealed to me that was out there. That and of course the hydration stuff. I did the whatever their energy drink was, tasted pretty good.
The Pocari Sweat, that's delicious.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it too. Usually I don't drink the sport drinks again because my stomach, like Rhea, I'm very, very sensitive. But toward the end of the race, I had some Pocari Sweat and it tasted much better than Gatorade. I have to say, Nagoya too, they had one, I forgot the name right now. But same, I tried a little bit toward the very end of the race, and it tasted really good because it was mild flavor, not overly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I took a picture of the name because I think I could stomach that on a more regular basis, but it was interesting, the different offers they had.
Can we talk about how amazing? Sorry, Sally.
That's all right.
How amazing, like when you finished, the amount of stuff they give you at the finish.
Yes. When you finish the race, you finally go through the finish line and they don't give you your medal right away. You have to keep walking. And then they give you a baggie and give you all sorts of goodies. What did you get, Rhea?
I got a whole thing. I know what's so funny. It's like, I'm a very light packer. I don't check a bag ever. Like I'm very like get through the airport, easy breezy. And so I'm like, I have to bring everything back in my carry-on. But there was this bag of wipes that I was like, I want these. I have to take these wipes home. And my husband is like, but what? But they were free. And I was like, they're Japanese wipes. These are going to be, because we're doing Patagonia next month. And I'm like, I want these wipes.
Like face wipes. Yeah, I grabbed those too.
I wanted those wipes. And then, like, I don't know, I felt like a whole celebrity once I finished that race. And like, whereas in London, they're like, meh, another person, meh, another person. And like in Japan, I was like, I feel famous and I'm not a big deal. Everybody is so nice here. And so it was just like treats, 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 bags. And then the other cute thing is, did anybody else get their 6-star in Tokyo?
No, not yet.
Okay.
What was that again?
The 6-star.
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, yay. Okay, me and Tom. So the other big thing is I collect lapel pins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get your 6-star, Abbott, woo, opinions, whatever. But like, I will say the tent, the people, the volunteers, the whole Abbott tent was absolutely lovely at the expo, at the finish line. And then they give you a lapel pin of a 6-star. And so I was expecting my medal. And then I also got this tiny little treasure and of something that I cherish and that I buy in every country I visit. Sally, on the ship, we got Antarctica pins. There was a penguin pin and a whale pin that I bought. And then I also bought pins in Ushuaia. And so when I go do this thing that I have tried I did my first major in 2015. So it took me 11 years. And then I go and I get my 6-star and then they give me this thing that I collect unasked for. I just felt like, I was like, oh, this is so lovely. It was so special. So yeah, so I understand I have this slight bias towards Tokyo, that I just had the best time and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. But I just feel like there were so many special points along the race and special touches with the volunteers, with the food, with the Abbott team, that I just think speaks to that particular culture and race and dynamic that I loved. I loved it.
I collect little pins and patches.
The patches are so cute too. I started those.
Has anybody had trouble getting pictures from there? I've not been able to find them.
Oh, I've not tried.
Your race pics?
Yeah.
They're on your result. There's a link. If you look at your results, at the bottom, there's a link. There's actually 2 links for pictures. I looked at some of mine. They were not all published. They were not like one shot of one runner like me. It was more like a crowd, and you're in the you're in that crowd.
That sounds like London too.
I bought mine. I didn't buy mine from Berlin. Actually, no, that's not true. I bought Berlin. I did not buy London. So they send a link in. It was like maybe like a couple days after the race, and they are pricey. But you get the whole package, or you could buy 1 or 2 or 3 for like $30 or so. But yeah, they send it to you. And so if you go on the Tokyo website, and there should be an option, and then you enter your email and bib number. And as long as you have your email address that's registered for the bib number, they'll pull you up.
I'll have to try that. The only thing I found was all in Japanese, and I wasn't able to navigate that.
In worst case, Tom, I can forward you my email because it's not specific to me. It's just a link. And then that way you can put in your email and bib number and find your pics.
Yeah, I appreciate
Totally
that.
happy to share that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the tip. I got to get mine too.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because like London, I didn't love, but so I didn't buy the pics. Although there was actually some very cute ones, especially around like Big Ben and stuff. But yeah, the Tokyo ones, and then there's some very cool crowd ones. So even if you don't buy it, I'm happy to share the cool crowd ones if you want those. Yeah, I bought those. So if you don't buy them, I'll share.
Yeah, good. Did you notice at the finish lines they were giving? So you talked about the wipes. And there were all these bath salts and this laundry stuff. And then there were a little packet of cheese, which I had 2. And then there were some food I didn't take, but the bath salts, there was a whole selection of bath salts. So that was good. I took some and, used them in my Kyoto onsen.
I text all my girlfriends like, hey, girls, you want some bath salts from Japan? And they were like, yes. Yeah. So I brought all of those home and I have used some of them, and I gave one to my mother-in-law. Like, they are fantastic. I think that's another like just kudos, a little diversion to the culture of Japan is I don't know about the hotels we all stayed in, but we stayed in one in Kyoto and then another on our way back to Tokyo before we left from the airport. And they have like this cute little like free store of like, did you forget a toothbrush? Did you forget a comb? Did you forget face wash? Did you forget lotion? And all of those products are so fantastic. And
I know.
if this was America, this would be picked clean because we're all like, because it's incredible quality of products.
They had hair binders that were individually wrapped.
Yes. And like the cutest little baggies of a hair tie. And I was like, I just that little I like there's one of those things as Tom mentioned when you're not used to a culture or you don't go to those places before where you're like, wow, this is so different and this is so like how lovely that it is to like, did you forget something? You don't even have to ask. It's all here.
Yeah, it's like the condiment bar where you can take, your shampoo, your this, your that. Same, yeah. In one of the hotel I had the hair tie, they even had like a big bead covered in different fabrics, with some Japanese print. So every day they were giving me some of this headband. I brought them all because they're like so cute. It's not just a band. It's a band with like a little decor thing, like a big 1-inch round fabric decor. They're really cute. So every day in my hotels, they were giving me that. So I took it.
I love the little free stuff. I just always grab the little toiletries and things from our hotel. And one of our hotels had like 5 different little plastic travel packets of lotion and face wash and gel wash. There are like 3 different kinds of wash. I don't understand what the difference was. So they all have little Japanese writing on it. I handed them out to my friends.
I feel so dull because I came home with tons of chopsticks for my grandkids.
Hey, I also bought chopsticks too, Tom. You're not alone.
Yep.
Rhea, for your recommendation, we also went to Miyajima Island.
Yes. How was it? Tell me
outside
everything.
of Hiroshima. It was great. And one of the little free things they give you, or their trinkets, is the rice scoop. Miyajima Island claims to have invented the rice paddle for scooping rice.
You got a rice scoop? I didn't get that when I went.
You can get your name written on the rice scoop.
Oh, that's so cool.
Did you climb up to the top? Did you do the temple at the top of Miyajima?
No, we didn't. We just stayed down at the base. So Miyajima is this island outside of Hiroshima, and they have these large red torii gates, the big, gates that you see in Japan. And when the tide comes in, they're flooded. It looks like it's floating. When the tide goes out, you can walk out to the base, and they're I think that's a UNESCO site. It is.
It is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. One thing I learned the difference between the different types of Buddhism, Hinduism, when in Japan, they pray to Shinto, and they might put a message, or they have the prayer wheels. And in Japan, the prayer wheels spin.
You're supposed to turn them?
Yeah, up and down. You're supposed to turn your prayer wheels. And then the prayers all go back to you, the good health, the good wishes, whatever it is. In Nepal, you put the prayer wheels in and you spin them so they're right to left. Your hand goes right to left. And you spin them. And all the prayers and the good wishes go out to the world.
Aww. Well, I like both of those.
I know, you got to have one of each, spinning one up and down and the other one left to right. And so in Berkeley, California, there's a group that is on a mission to spin their prayer wheels as much as possible. So they figure like they can do so many billions of spins of the prayer wheel per year to make the world a better place. Okay, whatever it takes.
They can keep spinning. There's still work to do.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I love that you got to go to Hiroshima. That was such a pivotal point of my first trip there. And it is so if you, I don't know if Tom or Christelle has been to Pearl Harbor at all.
Yes.
Pearl Harbor, yes.
Yeah. So I went to Japan first, and then about just over a year later, I got to go to Pearl Harbor. So I got to kind of see both sides of it. And I think what was so impactful for me, again, I was young. I was in grad school. I was 20, early 20s at the time, was just seeing how heartfelt Japan felt. I'm like, we don't want to do this again. This was a terrible blight on our history. and we lost people. I got to meet two A-bomb survivors in Hiroshima, and and she lost her sister. She became anemic from like the whole experience of the A-bomb, like had multiple, many health repercussions for years of having to, recover from that. And hearing her own experience was so pivotal. I'm like, yeah, that's my country's history, but hers is equally as important. But then hearing how impactful it was for them that they didn't want to ever repeat that was just so lovely. It was just really special. And I think that's the beauty of traveling is it's, we grow up and we learn this one perspective, and then you go and you explore, and then you get to experience a whole other side and how they experienced it. And then you get to kind of marry those two together. And then it gives you this kind of better understanding of this time in history. And yeah, I'm so happy, Sally, that you got to go and you got to experience the World Friendship Center. And that was a very important time for me. And I'm so glad that you had such a positive time as well.
Yeah, we met one of the A-bomb survivors as well.
Yeah, there's not many left.
Well, they
Probably
said there's
not.
90,000.
What? Left?
90,000 survivors left. They said anyone who was in that Hiroshima area, what is it, a 2-mile radius within 2 weeks of the bombing was considered a survivor because they all suffered the after effects of the radiation.
Huge.
And it's, like you said, it's so powerful to hear their story that they feel that, nuclear bombs are such a crime against humanity. They should just not even be considered. There's nothing you can do to defend yourself against them. So very powerful. So maybe we'll switch a little on a positive note. I guess it's positive that the war is over. I was wondering if there's anything unusual or unique you learned about the Japanese culture. Tom, how about you?
While we were talking, I don't know, we were impressed several times to see the young kids in Japan, school kids, wearing uniforms.
Yes.
They were so cute and well-groomed and everything. And, the boys had jackets and slacks. Some of them had a subtle plaid pattern to them. And the young ladies had, jackets and white shirt and a skirt. And they were just, they were so, I don't know, tidy and wholesome looking, I guess.
And you see the 4 and 5-year-olds alone on a subway. Like they can't even reach to see over the top of the subway turnstiles, and they're holding up their little cards to get it scanned so they can go through.
Uh-huh.
Aw. Some of them I saw, they had like a little address or something on the back of their backpacks in case they get lost.
I did not see the little kids. That's so cute.
I understand over there, it feels like the kids would be safe because there's no crime. And I bet that a kid is in trouble, the whole people, the adults around them would help them. So it makes sense that the parents let the little kids, take the subway or whatever. So that looks perfectly fine to me.
Yeah, so the kids know they can ask a stranger and they'll help them.
Oh, the whole place seems so serene and safe, I guess.
Yeah. A little bit like what you said, Tom. Also, I was inspired. I saw many. So when I visited temples and shrines and museums, I saw many school groups with a teacher, and there was obviously at several places the teacher explaining the history. And I mean, I could not understand what they were saying. I don't speak Japanese, but clearly they were explaining how to pray, and they were explaining the statue and the torii gates, and the kids were taking notes, and they were asking questions. Very well behaved, and so I have to say, I also went in Kyoto, one of the big temple, Kiyomizu. Some of the kids, they were a bit more like the adolescent. They look like they had way more fun because there's fountains you drink that brings you longevity or good school results or health. And so you drink, and some of them had a lot of fun to drink from these special, sacred springs. It was fun. And then one thing after Kyoto, I went to Nagoya, and then I went to Hakone, which is a mountain place, really, really interesting. On the lake, you see Mount Fuji, and there's temples, and there's a lot of museum of arts and whatever. And the volcano is active too, so you see the sulfur coming out in the steam. But because it's a volcanic place, there's a lot of onsen. Those Japanese baths, hot baths that are usually outside in natural setting. So I went to several, and men and women are separated in different baths, and you go there completely naked. You don't even wrap a towel around you. You can have a little like washcloth that you can put in front of you if you're concerned.
Or sit on.
Yeah, but you never put that little towel in the water. So anyway, it was totally fine. After 2 minutes, you feel very comfortable. There's no, nobody look at you. It's a very natural thing. And there's no body shaming, you feel, so everybody's naked. There were some older ladies, some very young, almost children, not exactly, but like teenagers. And everybody feels comfortable, and me included. After 1 minute, I was like, this is fine. This is really good. The hot water felt fabulous on your muscles, and it was very relaxing. I love the onsens. Next time I go to Japan, I'll make sure I'll go to some places where I can do some onsen experience.
That's kind of how we read about it, but we didn't have the pleasure of experiencing it. We talked about doing it in Kyoto, but at the time we didn't find a place that was close enough that we felt like we wanted to venture out to.
There's some cities that are more, that are more prone, where they are everywhere, and every hotel they have their private onsen, and some other places where it's a little bit more, you have to look for it. But yeah, it was cool.
No, that's nice to hear, because if we go back, I will definitely want to do that.
To me, it was worth it, yes.
So speaking of Japanese culture,
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure of going to Japan before. And so it was my husband's first trip. And so in booking the whole trip, because he came to support me for the marathon, I was like, I want him to have the authentic Japanese experience. I want him to like really appreciate the culture that I liked so much the first time. So when we booked, I took care of all the trip planning. And so I booked our Kyoto hotel, and I was like, I'm going to book us a traditional, mind you, I booked a traditional Japanese ryokan when I was like 25. It's different when you're in your late 30s and you just ran a marathon. And so I booked us a traditional Japanese hotel, a ryokan in Kyoto, with the tatami mats on the floor the day after a marathon. And my husband was like, what did you do? Like, oh no. They are very comfortable, with the exception of the day after a marathon, getting up and down off the floor. And like, so it was just very funny. So I don't think I'm ever going to live that down. I think in 40 years, my husband is still going to tease me on like, you booked our hotel. Does it have a bed? Because I booked a hotel for us and it did not have a bed.
No, Rhea, we had a very similar experience. I booked an Airbnb, and the photo of it had the tatami mats, and it had a round table with pillows around it.
So cute.
And it was, until, like you said, you got there the day after the marathon, and oh my God, getting up and down was terrible. And then there was another. So that was about maybe an 8x8 or 10x10 room, and then apart from that, there was about a similar size room that had a little hotel-sized fridge and a microwave and stuff on top of it, and then a fold-out couch, like a futon, that was not comfortable in either setting. And so we had fun with it and all, but learned how to prop ourselves up in on the mattresses and stuff on the tatami floor, and it worked out okay. But it's fun. It was a good memory.
It's an adventure. My husband just had shoulder surgery in December, and so he's still very limited. And so
ouch.
Like, we don't have a bed. I was like, we don't. So sorry. I was so excited about giving him the whole experience. And then I realized, like, ooh, I didn't think this through.
Well, but you were not like just the tourist. You were like living the real Japanese life.
I was trying.
That's the stuff you remember, though, isn't it?
Yes. And I told him, I was like, if you still tease me about this in 10, 20, 40, I am fine with it because I will own that. And it's very funny.
Yeah, we booked our hotel through the Marathon website, which is just great for a foreigner too. You know, everything was in English. It was easy to understand, well organized, and they had the options of those ryokan rooms and how do you say it? Ryokan hotels?
I heard from a Japanese person. Yeah, ryokan.
Ryokan. Okay, so I went with the Shinjuku Prince Hotel.
Okay.
And so it's only a kilometer from the start. And we had stayed at the Shinagawa Prince Hotel on my first trip to Japan 2 years ago. So we had a really good idea of what the hotel would be like. It was totally westernized. And if people want to get an idea of cost, we had 4 nights at that more Western nice hotel. It was $1,500 for that part of the trip. And we did 4 nights, you know, I think 3 nights was the minimum. And it was nice to be so close, nice to have a Western hotel. I was being a baby.
Oh, and you got by for a song compared to the Marathon Tours price.
Oh, preach.
Oh, I know. I on a whim, I put my name in for the lottery and I got in.
That's wild.
I couldn't believe it. First try.
I think, Christelle, you won the trip in London, right? I remember.
So London I did with Marathon Tour because I could not get in the lottery. But Tokyo, yes, I got onto one of the Challenger lottery.
I remember you saying that you got into Tokyo when we were in London and being so jealous. Because I was like, oh, I'm so jealous of her right now. Because Tom, I also paid that Marathon Tours premium. And like, it's not a dig on Marathon Tours. They're impeccable. They do provide a very good service. Antarctica was worth every penny, but Tom, the premium it doesn't make sense. And like, if they hear this, I would happily provide this feedback for them. But like, I was by myself. I got in through Marathon Tours, thankfully, very appreciative, but it didn't make sense for me to pay the single supplement or to pay to have my husband come with me and be in my room with me because it was like an extra $2,500 to like $3,000 to have him share the hotel room that I already paid thousands of dollars for. So he got an apartment for like $600 up the street for the entire week.
Really?
And yeah, oh yeah. And so my roommate, I got matched with a roommate, and her husband and kids did the same thing. So my matched roommate on Marathon Tours, we didn't use the entire room. I slept in it the night before the marathon, and that was her plan as well. And then she didn't end up doing it. So nobody used our hotel room except for me for one night of the entire trip. I felt actually kind of guilty that like I'm using 2 accommodations. But like, it just didn't make sense to pay for my husband to join me at $3,000, or we could pay a couple $100 and have our own. We had an entire apartment with a kitchen and a washing machine and a whole apartment up the street, like it was 1K away. And so it just didn't make sense to like pay so much money to have him stay in a room with me that I already paid for, versus me just stay with him. And then, so that was like my beef with the Marathon Tours. It
I'm
was such
shaking my
a
head
premium.
because London seems so expensive, and then Tokyo was almost double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say I've got my 6 now, and
High five, Tom. Agreed. I don't have to do that anymore.
I'm not sure Sydney's on my radar, although you never say never.
I'm trying lottery for Sydney just to like do lottery.
I wouldn't mind to go back to Tokyo and do that race again. Now, I did Sydney race with Marathon Tour, and I did the Australia challenge, and it was fabulous. It was worth every penny of it. Yes, it was. We went to Adelaide and Kangaroo Island, ran the marathon there, and then went to Sydney, and I really loved that trip. And then we did an extension to the Great Barrier Reef in Cairns. I looked at the price of Tokyo and the price of Sydney, which was expensive for sure. But in terms of value, I did not regret one penny that we spent in Australia with them.
Yeah.
Now in Tokyo, the Japanese trip, I organized everything all by myself. I picked my hotel and all my trip and all my logistic and travel, my Shinkansen train, etc. And it ended up, for all that I did, it ended up not being that expensive. I was surprised.
And this is not a dig on marathon tours. We did Antarctica through them. I did London through them. I did Tokyo. I will pay every dollar. Antarctica was worth every single penny.
Yeah.
But I just felt like the value for what I paid for Tokyo, it was really, I was buying a bib. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I bought the bib through the tour company because it, like, like same with Tom, it was my 6-star. I just wanted to finish the 6-star.
Yeah. You just had to get it done.
I just had to get it done. But also it's going up every year. Like, I looked at it last year and it was like substantially cheaper. So it's going up every year. And I do think they do provide a very wonderful way to get in and have that be secured. And like, I love Jeff. I love marathon tours. That's not a dig on them. I just felt like the amount of money to have my husband join me when I paid so much money already was like, that was rough.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back then.
Yeah.
So if you need a running friend to share a room with you again, call me.
Yeah.
Maybe our husbands can share.
I have friends now. Hey. Yeah. Well, what's funny, Christelle, I asked Jen. Jen didn't want to do it with me. And I was like, oh, fudge. So
she gonna regret it.
She will. Yeah. It's fine. She did get into Cindy via the lottery. Lucky gal.
Oh,
Lucky gal. I applied to the lottery, didn't get in. But that's fine. But I'm also credit to Marathon Tours. I'm doing Patagonia with them next month. So it is
nice.
They're fantastic.
Oh, it is big FOMO right now.
Very excited about that. But it is they do so much good stuff. I think the majors are getting, I don't know, and maybe this is my opinion, and Sally, feel free to cut this. It's becoming a bit of a money grab, and I don't love that. Knowing how when I did my first major in 2015 to seeing how it is now. And like, I would love to hear y'all's experience with London. I hated London. Hated it. Because those streets are not built for 60,000 runners. And they're talking about, even this year, making it a 2-day event for the next edition. And they should. It's not safe. I don't think 60,000 runners on that course is a safe experience. And having done almost 40 marathons, Christelle, I know that is like 10% of yours, but like, I like respect to you. It is such a different experience running a race. Like, I've never felt unsafe in Tokyo. I never felt like I got kicked in Berlin a lot in 2024, where we also set the world record with number of finishers. But in like Boston, even in New York, like I never felt so unsafe as I did in London with that many people on that small of a race street. And so it's very frustrating for me to be like, I feel like that race is no longer about the participant experience. And it's become a more of like, what do we do to get the record? What do we do to get this to be like this event or this thing? And like, yeah, sorry, that's a soapbox. Like, I would love to hear y'all's opinions. Like, we all ran it together. Like, please share. What did you think?
I love London, and but it's true. All the majors, they have that major PR. Now, people who have never run a marathon, they all want to do the 6-star, which is, I think there should be like an entry level. You can't do the majors until you've done at least 1 or 2 marathons, because there's those new runners who've never experienced big cities. They don't know how to behave. They've never done a race.
And that's a safety issue, right? If you don't know how to conduct, like if you need to pull off, you need at least a little, like a modicum of running experience in a race to be like, hey, let me put my hand up. Hey, let me pull off to the side. You can't just stop.
Yeah. Somebody ran into me in Tokyo because there's a salon pause off to the left of us, and they just ran right into me to go to it. Oh, and then to be a little more respectful for Christelle, she has to sign off pretty soon. So why don't you give us your final thoughts, Christelle, and then Rhea and Tom and I can chat more?
So my final thought is that of all the majors, I have to say Tokyo, the race itself is not my favorite. My least favorite is Chicago. Talking about danger, I think Chicago is really not the best. So Tokyo, the race itself was not my favorite, but the trip, the country, the overall experience of everything of the race and what's around the race, it was absolutely fabulous. I can't wait to go back. And I heard about the Kyoto Marathon. That's really good.
I'll join you.
There's
Me
so
too.
many races that looks really, really interesting. So yeah, I can't wait to go back. And I got some Japanese learning book, to speak to learn a little bit of basic Japanese. I think I'm gonna tackle that to have an even more interesting experience, to talk more with people, But yeah, I love the Tokyo race more than I was expecting from what other people told me. Still not my favorite. My favorite is still New York of all the races I've ever done, but I don't mind the big crowds. As much as I love the race where we are 20 runners, I also love the 100, the 60,000 runners. I don't mind it. I like all kind of experiences.
Well, Christelle, I think the best present I got in Tokyo, the best thing was the little gift you gave me. Christelle made a little charm of a bee and gave it to me, and then she hand crocheted like a little purple heart. It's so cute.
I gave to a lot of runners and non-runners also, like people who help me on the street, or I give them a little thank you thing. It's a little crocheted heart with a tiny little card that I put a thank you note. And in Nagoya too, I give them, and there's some people I saw after I gave them the day after, and they recognize me and say, "Oh, look, I have your little heart." And so it's like the bracelet, the friendship bracelet. And so I'm doing Boston next month, and I'm gonna bring those little gift to exchange with runners. I think it's or non-runners. I think it's brings a little smile to people, and it's a nice thing to do.
A little gift from the heart.
Exactly.
Oh, and Christelle is coming to Minnesota for Grandma's this year too.
Yes, I'm coming to Grandma. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you coming, Rhea?
No.
I didn't think so. No. but Tom, you're going.
I'm running the half.
Oh, cool.
I'm running the fall.
Take a picture for me.
Okay, so Christelle will say "Gonbate."
Ganbatte. Arigato gozaimasu.
Nice to chat, Christelle.
Ashante, Christelle.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Merci.
So my friend said that "Ganbate" means do your best.
Yeah. Or like, let's go. Like, you got this. Yeah. That's what Michelle said. She was like, "Ganbatte." It's like all encompassing.
Well, I'd have to say I agree with Christelle that New York was my favorite of the six, and it was just so the crowd support was so enthusiastic, and getting to see all the six boroughs, and just a good time. And that was, goodness, when did I do New York? 2013. It's been a while.
Oh, Tom, you're even longer than me on your 6-star.
Well, I did my first one in 2007. That was when I did Boston.
Okay.
So yeah, it's almost 20 years.
Oh, I love that. I thought my 11 was people tell me, they're like, I've been doing it since 2022. And I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did Boston a couple of times, and Boston seemed like the tightest of the races in terms of the start and elbow to elbow and everything for the longest way. And I had the twice I ran it, I had crappy conditions both times. The first time
What
was
years?
cold in 2007. So there was a nor'easter that year, and I was way overdressed because you had to wait so long to start, and I was too cheap to throw my clothes away. And then the next time was 2012. That was the year before the bomb, but it was hot that year. I'd gotten some good advice and booked a tour bus to ride to the start with, and so I had a place to sit the whole time. That was an incredibly valuable piece of advice.
I've done that. It is a clutch little hack for Boston. I'll connect you, Sally, if you want my hookup for Boston.
Yes. I have to do Boston and Chicago yet.
Okay. So I agree. Paying for the tour bus, because so in Boston, you do your drop bag at the Boston Commons before you get on the bus out there. So if you want your phone or you want anything you take out to the Hopkinton, you have to carry back with you or you have to throw away. But if you pay, at the time when I first did it, so my first Boston was 2015. And then in 2016, I found about a little private bus. And you pay at the time, it was only like $50. And then you paid and you got a charter bus out to the start. And then you could drop a bag and they would haul it back for you. And then you pick it up at the Ritz-Carlton at the finish line, which is lovely. Cause like the Ritz, when you walk into Boston, they're like, "Ooh, you're very fancy." They're very excited for you. And then there's free beer. It is lovely. So I did that for a number of times. And now it is more expensive. I think the last time I did it, it was, and then they had to cancel it because of COVID. So the last time I did Boston was 2023. So I don't know what that whole experience is like now. But yeah, if you can do a private bus out to the start, that is the way to do it.
There was a group, Sally, that a group out of the Twin Cities that had buses in Boston. And that's been 14 years now. So I don't know if it's the same group anymore or what, but it was certainly worth the whatever if
Was
I
it
paid
similar
30 or 50
cost, Tom, for y'all?
I don't even remember if it was 30 or 50 bucks or something. And again, that's long enough ago that the price is probably double by now.
Yeah.
But the private bus out there, it's definitely worth, because like I had my phone. I still rode with my phone anyways. But
yeah, me too.
Like throwaway clothes versus not. I will say in 2018, when I did Boston, when Tom, we also had a full nor'easter, which I understand. I didn't go with Marathon Tours, and I wore shorts and a tank top and arm warmers, and it was like 40 degrees in a full nor'easter. It was freezing.
I feel bad for you.
I had hypothermia.
Sweats and everything, and I was huddled in the doorway of a school with a bunch of people that had cardboard to sit on, and it was just we looked like homeless people. I'm afraid.
I found a Marathon Tours of all things poncho in the start in a trash can. It was just in a trash can, and I was like, I could use this, and I literally was a trash digger, and I was like, I don't care, and I ran 25 miles of Boston 2018 in that poncho for Marathon Tours.
Oh, yes. Wow.
And then I literally was like, I need a picture. So it was stupid. And I took it off. And then like immediately I took it off in Kenmore Square with a mile to go. And I was like, I regret that decision. I'm freezing. That poncho was life-saving. I would not have finished without that poncho in 2018. Ridiculous. But it is just very funny. And my first Boston was 2015, when we also, not a nor'easter, but it was like 50 and just pouring rain and a headwind the whole race. Boston's notorious bad weather.
Picked up clothing along a race course.
I did.
Like gloves or a hat or a scarf or something. You're just freezing.
Whatever.
Yes.
But that's also like, I think that's why marathon running is so special. And I'm so impressed with Christelle, and I would actually love to hear more about her racing experience. I think anybody with running, whether it's a half, whether it's a 5K, like, a 100-miler that she just did in the Outer Banks, like you're putting yourself out there to be like, hey, this is uncomfortable. And like, I don't care how long you're uncomfortable, but it is just like, I'm out here trying, I'm doing something.
Yep, I can do this.
Yeah. And I think it just makes it cool. Like, I don't like, if you've never run before and you're like, I'm going to do a 5K, heck yeah, like go do that. Like that's hard. And I just love that. And I just think that's what makes like our sport and our passion so like fun and impressive, is no matter your ability, no matter your time, no matter your pace, like we're all out here like, what am I seeing on the streets in Tokyo? Oh, there's a temple. That's cool. Like, oh, they're cheering Gambate. I don't know what that means, but like that's special. And it's just about like going out and just putting yourself out there and experience something different, and pushing yourself a little bit and hoping you get a little joy along the way. And yeah, I love it.
I mean, that brings me to a 10,000-foot observation.
Yeah.
That, it's so, talking about running with somebody, you bump into somebody, start talking about running, can just light up the conversation like nothing else. If you bump into another runner, it's just such a common bond, and just a lot of fun.
100% agree.
Yeah.
And I like the jackets. Like the jackets are like a very fun thing.
Yes.
You see somebody wearing a jacket of a race you did, and you're like, hey, or a shirt, or the shirt, or a hat, or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I did that.
I always do that.
Yeah.
Sally, I see somebody, I did that.
Yeah. Do you remember we were in London together, and it was a table of 10 and 6 of us had done Antarctica, and it was wild to be like a table of 10 people. What are the odds that 10 of us had been to Antarctica, let alone like it was a marathon tour table. So like, odds are higher, but it was just so cool to be like, wow, like we all did this like very cool random experience together. And I think that makes it so special. And I think, you talk to anybody and you're like, oh, you've done a marathon. That's so cool. And then you hit like Tom and he's like done 30 marathons and you're like, okay, that's very impressive. And I just love that. I love like, you get to meet people and you're like Tom, like which one's your favorite? I want to know.
And there's so many different aspects to different ones that you get talking and you reflect a little bit and you think of stuff that you hadn't in a long, long time. But one of my favorites, if we're going to talk about favorites, was two of them were downhill marathons. We did the Big Cottonwood Marathon with my running club in south of Salt Lake City.
Oh yeah, I did that one.
I've done that one as well.
Oh, and then the other one was the Jack and Jill downhill marathon.
Oh, I've heard good things. How was that?
East of Seattle, and that was fun. It's not as treacherous in the beginning as the
Big Cottonwood.
Yeah. Funny story. You start at the top of this pass, hour east of Seattle, and within a few hundred yards, you go into a railroad tunnel that goes for about a mile and a half. And it is pitch black in there. And they tell you, bring a headlamp or flashlights or something because you're going to need it. So we went, a couple days before and wandered into the tunnel long enough to experience the blackness and, had flashlights and stuff. And so, okay, that's cool. In the morning the race started, it was a beautiful, crisp morning and sunny and all. And so we all stand and got our group photo and had sunglasses on and stuff. And we started the race and right into the tunnel, and holy cow, it was dark in there. And we got about 2/3 of the way through. And I realized, hey, you dummy, it's probably not as dark in here if you take your sunglasses off. and took my sunglasses off, and it was a whole lot more visible. It was just a fun race, though, and the scenery was drop dead gorgeous.
I love that. That's on my list.
I stopped a couple of times to take pictures, and still ended up with a pretty decent time. So I would highly recommend that one.
Nice. I'd like to do one through those tunnels. I know there's a couple races through there.
I've heard such good things about that particular race, the Jack and Jill, or the tunnel marathons. I think it's the same race go. I've heard such good things that I'm like, ooh, it's on my list. I would love to. Speaking
of shadows and stuff, with Tokyo and New York, I was really comparing them to each other because you are running through, it's a big city. I mean, you're not out in the woods. It's a totally different animal than one of those woodsy races. But I still loved it. And as I'm running along, I'm always trying to run in the shadows of the buildings.
We did that too. It's cooler. It's cooler in the shade.
That was one thing that impressed me about Tokyo was when we were on the tour, that bus took us all over the place. And no matter where we ended up, you'd get out and you'd look around and you would see skyscrapers in every direction. And I was just looking the other day, Tokyo is 32 or 37 million, depending on who's doing the measuring, I guess. And that's just a phenomenal amount of people in a phenomenally large city.
And it's so clean.
Oh, it was. It was a joy.
Yeah. In the 2 trips that we've done there, I've only seen one piece of spray paint graffiti. That's it. And that was on the way to the airport.
Yeah, no graffiti. There's no trash.
Rhea, what's your favorite race?
Overall or like?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm putting myself on the spot too here.
So hard. And like, I agree with Tom. It's like, what's the dynamic? What are we measuring on? Are you talking about like crowd sport? Are we talking about like my best race experience? Because like, if you want to talk best race experience, I love running in the rain. My first marathon was in the rain. My first Boston was my first sub 4 was in the rain. My first BQ was in the rain. And then my first Boston was in the rain, which is where I set my PR and I ran 2:53. So it's like a weird thing of like, yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm not that fast anymore, Tom.
I never was.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it's weird. And then my first marathon I won was in the rain. So it's like a weird, like, it depends on what you say. But like, I will say I have had such joy on like, I feel very lucky that I'm a person who gets to run marathons that I'm a person who can afford to pay the premium to run these bigger races, because going through, when you get in through a lottery, that's so lovely. I was fortunate to get in Berlin through the lottery, and then, New York and Chicago. I had time qualifiers with Boston, same thing. And so I've had to pay the premium for London and Tokyo. And so that's a privilege. And so it's weird, but I still have, like, Tokyo for me was such a joy. And for whatever reason, London, I just was not my vibe. I didn't have a great day there. I was also not in my best physical shape, like mentally. It was just not a great day for me. And so to come back and have that be my fifth star in London, and then go to Tokyo and have my husband there and have it be such a fun day, and like love the culture, love the experience. And, was the race conditions ideal? No. Is the race course the most scenic? Maybe no, but like, was it a great day? Yeah. And I just love that. I don't know if anything tops Antarctica.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm going to run Patagonia next month, so I'll report back.
Yeah, I heard that one's hard too. Jeff doesn't make it easy.
It's hillier. It's hillier than Antarctica, but it is like so scenic. And like, I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about time. I'm just happy I get to do it, and it is a gift to be able to go run in cool places and do something that I feel proud of. And like, I will like stand by this any day. I don't care what your time is. Any day you run a marathon is a good day. I don't care what, it is a good day, because that is a hard thing. I don't care who you are. I've done it 39 times. It's ridiculously difficult. So I feel very gifted in just that, like, I get to like run these cool places and experience it. So do I have a favorite at the time being, because it was such a positive? Maybe Tokyo. Before that would be my first Boston, just because it was just so special. And Sally, we talked about it on my episode. I was getting out of a, abusive relationship, but it was like my passion for it. And, when you run super fast because you're super, dedicated, because that was my outlet, that feels very rewarding.
Yep. You're working it out.
Yeah. But time now, I give a crap what I run now. I just am happy that I get to like running to like, I don't care who you are. Like, and that's one thing about German races that's very cool. They love the last finisher. And I think that's so special, because I feel like the people who are out there longer work 10 times harder, because it's so much harder to be on your feet for that long. And so I think it's so special that races give that gift to anybody who wants to do it. And I stand by that. You run it. I don't care what your time is. You're amazing.
I think my favorite is still Twin Cities Marathon. I mean, it's my hometown race.
That was the longest answer. I'm so sorry. I'm such a
that's okay. I love listening to what you have to say.
It's just a feel for me of my favorite race depends on the day.
Yeah.
It depends on the experience. And like, I don't know, Tom, you said New York. Do you have another favorite? So Twin Cities.
Twin Cities, yeah, is my favorite.
Yeah, the first Twin Cities I ran was my PR, and that was in the early 90s. And so it's always been special. And the course is beautiful, and the crowd's always nice. And it's fun to run something that's familiar that way too. But I don't know, they're all a joy. And yeah, I'm in my 70s now, so I'm happy to be out there and finish before the sag wagon picks me up. So.
Oh, Tom, thanks for mentioning that. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the cutoffs really for Japan.
They're aggressive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm a 6-hour finisher too. And the cutoff for the race is technically 7 hours, but it's all based on the time clock. I saw the last person started 30 minutes after gun time, and their finish time was like 6:59. Like, they were right on that 7-hour mark.
What's Japan? They're very strict there.
Yeah.
The poor person must have had rope marks on her butt or something.
Have you seen the videos online on like Instagram, or I don't have TikTok, but I'm sure it's on TikTok, of where they're like a second behind that and they cut them off and they stop them? Have you seen that?
No.
I did see one where they shoot a rope across or something.
They do.
If you're behind that rope, you're done.
They're very strict. So I think if we're going to be like a, knowledgeable PSA like podcast, yeah, they're not joking. The cutoff is the cutoff. And if you're a second behind, I saw one where they were a second or two behind and it was like, sorry, no. And they didn't make it. And like, that's heartbreaking. I felt so bad.
Oh, all the effort and time and expense to get over there. It's heartbreaking.
Oh my God. Yeah. So for Tokyo, do a little
Very
more explaining of this. Yeah, there are, including the finish line, there's 9 cutoffs. So during the race, you have to deal with 8 of them. And they're about every 2 to 3 miles, like every 3 miles or so. And my pace is generally 4.5 to 5 miles an hour. And at the end, I generally go like 4 miles an hour. So what is that? 12 to 14 minutes per mile.
Uh-huh.
And I did fine. But I had to make a bracelet. In fact, I made 2 bracelets. I made one bracelet that was red, that was the time of the cutoff and in kilometers, because in Japan, the cutoffs are in kilometers. And then I made another bracelet in white that was my time goals in miles. So where I wanted to be at that cutoff. So the most important one for me to get to was mile 24. So like up to then, I could kind of go at my normal pace. And mile 22 was the 5-hour mark. And then after 22, I had 30 minutes to go 2 miles to 24. So that was the most important thing to me. And I just needed these bracelets to remind me, because as I was running the race, I was expecting like a big balloon arch or a horn or a big sign saying, this is the cutoff, you made it. I didn't see any of that. Did you guys notice when the cutoffs were?
No, I had a bracelet for a 6-hour marathon in kilometers, and I'm not sure I really even looked at that very often. I guess I saw pace runners and stuff. I knew I was far enough ahead that it wasn't a big threat at the moment. It didn't seem like the end was a big hullabaloo as much as other races have been either.
At the finish line?
Yeah. I don't remember big balloon arch or anything like that.
I was gonna say, even the start line, the crowd was so packed, and it was at the government building. And I didn't notice the start line until I actually stumbled over it, literally stumbled over the pad. And in this race, I've never touched so many people. I mean, it was so dense, like through mile 15, that I was constantly politely kind of pushing people. Oh, excuse me. And then finally, when I hit that mile 22 at my 5-hour mark, I kind of had a little panic attack. I'm like, I got to go. I got to get around these people. It had thinned out by then. And then I'm like pushing people to like, I'm coming through. I never felt so relieved to get to mile 24 in my life. It was like all my entire racing career, 177 races down the crapper. If I miss this mile 20, all this money, all the lottery, I'll never get in again. I have to make it to mile 24 in 30 minutes. Oh God, I did.
Oh my.
Did you have a moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering, what time did you cross the start line?
I crossed at 9:35, so I was 25 minutes after the gun time.
We weren't far apart then.
Okay.
That's what I had. It was 25 minutes after the gun.
Okay.
So I was in K and you were L.
Yeah.
So you must have been in the front of L and I was at the back of K.
Yeah. So they had start corrals up through letter L, and I was in the last one.
Uh-huh.
Tom's a little bit faster than me, so he was ahead of me.
Yeah, so much faster. I'm sure it was all of a minute or so by the end.
Oh, and someone told me that the bathroom line for my corral took 30 minutes to go through.
Wow.
At the start when you were waiting. I didn't go. I just drank less.
You had your Depends with you if need be.
If I needed to.
I was thinking too, that day was so many hours on your feet.
Yeah.
Considering walking to the start and hanging around and waiting and then shuffling off to the starting line, and then at the end, going through the gauntlet to get all your gifts and stuff, yeah, and your medal and that side of stuff, and finally stumbling onto the bus and relief.
You had a bus home? Was that from Marathon
yeah,
Tours?
we did.
Yeah,
we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had to slum it on the subway.
You had to find Subway and go down the stairs, probably.
Yeah, walk downstairs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Tom, I paid through Marathon Tours, but I spent most of my time not on the Marathon Tours trip.
Mhm.
And so when I went and got all my stuff to check in at the hotel, they're like, "Oh, here's the bus for after the finish. Attach this tag to the back of your bib." And I was like, "Cool, cool." So I did that, not planning to do it because my husband and I had been taking the subway on our own for the whole week. We also got there early. And then we finished, and he was like, "Oh, you go take the bus. I'll meet you
Yeah.
there." And I was like, "This bus is money. That bus home, like it was so nice." And then he met me. He did beat me there by like 2 minutes, but I didn't have to take a single step. I sat on a bus, and I was like a passenger princess to get back to the hotel. It was a treat. The bus back was lovely.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. And then my bag drop at the end was like a kilometer away from the finish line. Like you had to keep going and going. I'm like, where is this?
Yours was that far?
Mine was really far away. And,
Oh,
and when I registered, you only pay $11. You pay a little bit extra for your bag drop. But I'm like, I'm just getting this because who knows? And we just were walking and walking.
we
If I
paid
had
bougie.
known,
We didn't have the option for that.
yeah, if I had known it was that far, I wouldn't have done it.
Hmm.
Because the finish line is right across from Tokyo Station. So I had to walk a kilometer to get my bag and then walk a kilometer to go back. But I think the reason they did that was because each of the ending corrals, you could go inside a building and kind of clean up. I don't know if they had a full shower, but they definitely had bathrooms where you could go inside and change. Be respectful, have some privacy.
That was another thing about Japan. There were bathrooms everywhere.
Yes. And 7-Elevens.
Oh, don't get me started on this. I miss them. My husband and I both are like, "Oh, we don't have. Where's our Family Mart?" Like,
Where's the
we miss
7-Eleven?
Family Mart. We miss 7-Eleven.
So my niece requested some sleeping socks from
So
7-Eleven, which I found across from our hotel. Like they're little booty socks. They're supposed to be extra warm, and then up your shins, it's loose like leg warmers.
Love that.
Yeah. So I got those, and then my sister wanted some little socks from Muji. Is it Muji?
Apparently, 7-Eleven also stocked Tokyo Marathon socks.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yes. And people talked about it online, and I went and looked for it, but I couldn't see it in the packaging. And it turns out I saw the actual socks. They just weren't branded. And all you had to do was open them up, and then they said Tokyo Marathon. So I saw them, didn't buy them because I didn't think those were the ones. And then it turns out they were the ones. And so I'm like big sad about it because they were like not even $1. Like they were so cheap. And I was like, gosh, because everything in the 7-Eleven and the Family Mart is like so reasonable. And so I saw them and I was like, I don't think those are the marathon ones. So then I didn't buy them. And now I'm mad at myself.
I got addicted to their lemon yuzu soda. If you've not heard of yuzu, it's YUZU. It's just a fruit over there, a citrus fruit, and the lemon yuzu soda from 7-Eleven.
Did anybody try the 196, the minus 196?
No, I didn't hear. What is that?
No, it's booze.
Oh.
And my husband is obsessed with it so much so he was like, we can't buy this at home. And it's like a lemony, like seltzery kind of drink. And he is so obsessed with them. And then he was like, I saw these not on TikTok, but like the social media. And it's a thing. They have it. It's like a big like Instagram, like it's a big thing in Japan. It's the minus 196.
Okay.
And so we tried it and it's very refreshing.
Well, the thing we went there with expectations for was the egg salad sandwiches.
Oh, he loved those too.
Oh.
And they were pretty good.
From 7-Eleven?
I can't do those because the smell grosses me out because I don't like a lot of eggs. But my husband loves those. He found the mayonnaise. You can find the actual sauce that makes it in like a Japanese store.
Oh, cool.
So if you Google it, Tom, you can find it. You can make your own.
I thought the food was fairly reasonable too. That eating
Very
out
fair.
wasn't ghastly expensive as we expected.
Well, and I was looking for sushi rolls. I wanted a California roll. Turns out they don't do that in Japan. It's an American thing.
Did you go to Train Sushi?
No. When I finally found a California role at a hot pot restaurant that was run by people from Nepal.
Oh.
So they had an assortment of random kind of Americanized things as well as a hot pot and ramen.
So I will say, if you go back to Japan, you have to do the train sushi. I don't think they call it train sushi, but it's where it comes by on a conveyor belt.
Oh, yeah, we did do that at the mall in Kyoto.
Okay. It is. So you could order it on the little tablet or the screen, whatever, or it just whatever comes by on the conveyor belt and just pick it off and then you pay by plate. We went to one, I think every other night, and my husband, like, I had warned him about it. Like, so we call it train sushi. I don't know if that is like the actual right verbiage for it, but we loved it. And then you can order, like, if you want something specific, like if you want a California roll or like a tuna, like nigori or like whatever, maguro, and like you order it on the little screen and then it pops out and it comes directly to your table. We were obsessed. I have always had food anxiety about going to a restaurant and they like take forever to come to your table or acknowledge you. You don't have that in Japan. They're like, it's so easy.
Yeah, they've got the app thing down. Like, so we discovered the izakari restaurants, the happy hour places. And every single one of those had an app and you could see what the food was. It would automatically convert everything to English. And so there was no communication problems between you and the waiter because everything was on the app. And the app, you'd scan the QR code on your table, and you'd place your order. And if my husband, he scanned that QR code and ordered something, it would end up on the same bill.
Wow.
Did you try that, Tom?
No. We were in a place where they had QR codes, but we found it easier. It was a food court in the Kyoto Tower building.
Yeah.
And but I think we might have ordered one thing on the app, but the other stuff was just easy enough to walk up and order it yourself.
So I could not convince Mike to go into the food court in the Kyoto Tower. I really wanted to check it out. I should have just walked through there myself, but it was always
I'll bet we ate there
weird
3 or
hours.
4 times.
Oh yeah.
We found a place that had Wagyu burgers.
Oh yeah.
They were so good. We're almost vegetarians or pescatarians anyways. And so we eat very little beef, but when we were over there, the burgers were so good from this place.
We managed to find a Wagyu beef place in Tokyo outside of our hotel, kind of by the start line. And that ended up being our most expensive meal of the trip. It was $82.
Oh, those were expensive burgers.
That's pricey for Japan.
We had one Wagyu burger ramen noodle thing, a Wagyu burger hamburger with fries and everything, and I think 2 drinks. We're like, wow, this is really expensive for Japan.
We split one of the burgers and we got a Cobb salad with shrimp in it or something because we needed to get some greens, for our daily greens. And between that and a couple of drinks, we were looking at $60-$70 for sure.
Okay.
That was very expensive, but it was the beef in the burger.
Can we please give credit to Japan for that's so reasonable?
Yeah. Yeah, everything else was super cheap. And most of our meals together were like $15 to $25.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we spent $100 on a meal.
Yeah, same.
Right. Yeah, even at the hotel.
We spent, I think it was like $110 because we went to a train sushi place, which my husband, he can eat a cow. He's a burly man. And we had multiple drinks and we sat there for a couple hours because our room wasn't ready.
Oh,
yeah, a couple hours. And it was train sushi. So it was like, I was getting the fancy tuna because give me all the fancy tuna. So I had every cut of tuna that restaurant had and multiple drinks and multiple things. And I got mochi and like, we were just having a ball. And I think we spent like $113. And it was just like, for as long as we sat and as much as we had, I was like, we could have gone to like a very mid restaurant here and spent that with like 2 drinks, 2 entrees, and maybe an appetizer at plus tip. And like, we felt like we were like, kings of Shiba over in Japan. It was just like the most primo cut of tuna I've ever had in my life. And I had it like 5 times. It's like, Yeah, you feel very spoiled in how quality and how very reason. I maybe that's my take, but I felt like having been through Europe and South America and like Asia, like I felt like for as first class as like a society and like as advanced as Japan is, I felt like the food was very reasonably priced.
You know, and I brought home one bottle of that lemon soda. I think I'm going to have to drink it tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
I love that. You should have it and enjoy.
Oh, my last souvenir. The other thing I tried was the okonomiyaki from
I'm
Hiroshima.
not familiar with that.
Yeah, what's that? What you got?
Miyaki. So yaki means fried. And Hiroshima claims that it's their hometown traditional dish.
Is that the Hiroshima pizza? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, please tell me about your experience.
So it's like an open-faced quesadilla where they kind of make a crepe for the bottom. They have like a little batter for the bottom, and then they put on cabbage, and then they layer on different kinds of meat, and then they have the fish flakes and the special mayonnaise sauce, and then they flip it over and fry it.
I wish you could see my face as you describe this because I have a visceral memory of this.
Yeah, they flip it back over again. They add a fried egg to it. I mean, they seem to put an egg on everything.
Well, it sounds delicious.
It was okonomiyaki.
Did you like it, Sally?
I did. And then, but for all the food, I found that after a while, the mayo was a little bit too rich. So this whole trip, I did a great job of just not stuffing myself, eating till I was full, but not stuffed. And I never felt hungry, and it was great.
So again, I went in very novice. I was a baby. I went to Hiroshima when I was like 24. It was the same thing. Thank you for telling me what it's actually called because I don't remember the actual Japanese name. We only knew it as the Hiroshima pizza. And I ordered it and we were all so excited because I believe when in Japan, do as Japan. When in Rome, do as Rome. Yeah. So that is my firm belief. I was in Egypt. I tried camel. It was not great.
Oh, wow.
Egypt is fantastic. Camel, not. I've also eaten kangaroo in Australia. Actually good, not gonna lie. But Hiroshima pizza was terrible. It tasted like ramen on pizza with noodles and it was chaos. And I hated it. So I really love that you liked it because it kind of gives like, maybe I would like it, 15 years later. I don't know.
I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to text it to you.
Yeah, please text me a picture of that because you just did. You're so funny. I love knowing that like my memories of like me as like a young like person traveling and like experience the world and then coming back as like a fully grown adult is like, oh, maybe you enjoy things differently. But like my brain was like Hiroshima pizza, bad. It's very funny that you're like, it's actually very good. And I was like, let me rethink this now.
Well, according to Osaka, they say it's a Teppan iron griddle Osaka specialty, which has taken its place as one of Japan's most beloved dishes. So bonito shavings, sauce, mayonnaise, dried seaweed, leeks, cabbage.
It sounds so bad.
Oh, it's good. And well,
is that what you just texted?
Yeah, I just texted it to you. Yeah,
850 yen. So that's about $6-7.
It's so cheap. I love Japan.
I think the different cities have different versions of it. So maybe it's like Detroit style Hiroshima pizza.
I don't know. I had it in Hiroshima because they're like Hiroshima pizza in Hiroshima. So we did it. And I was like, I left hungry and went to the 7-Eleven.
Good old 7-Eleven. You can count on 7. Like the first night we were in Hiroshima, we actually ate at the McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm jet lagged.
But the McDonald's is like actually very good.
Yeah.
Can we give credit to that? It is not the American McDonald's.
There were lots of McDonald's there. We didn't experience one, but
it's so good, Tom. Have you done McDonald's in Europe?
Not that I remember.
So I lived in Italy, and every once in a while I would get so hungry that I'm like, I just like pasta, fantastic. But eventually you're like, I just want and I can't do like certain cuts of beef. And I'm like, I just want some meat. And so on occasion I would go to the McDonald's in my little, like up the street from my apartment in Italy. And I'd be like, I just want a Big Mac. And I don't even like Big Macs here. I hate Big Macs here. I've never ordered one in America. And then I lived in Europe and I was like, can I get a Big Mac? And so it's very funny. But in Japan, it's it's like actually very good, which is wild.
Oh, they
But
were
it's like,
packed in Japan.
yeah, it's a quality. It is fantastic. And so my husband, who also conversely military, lived in Italy for 8 years, so he knows. So he is like, can we go to McDonald's? And I was like, yes. So we did. And it's so funny because he was like, why is this so good? And he was like, because it's not American, because it doesn't have all of our preservatives and all of our crap.
No, that's probably true. Yeah.
It's quality. And we both were like, the bun, even the bun itself was like, wow, this is like a fluffy, like whole different experience. Yeah, so it's so funny. I hate McDonald's. And I was like, we travel international. I was like, can we go check this out?
We make me laugh though. On our first trip to Europe in the 70s, we went to Madrid, and at some point we had, we broke and we went to Burger King. It was
You broke down.
what was it called?
Hungry Jacks.
El Rey de los Hamburguesas, the King of Hamburgers.
King of hamburgers.
Yeah. Oh, and it wasn't Burger King. It was called Whopper, and it was the same logo and all that, but instead of Burger King, it said Whopper in the middle.
Okay.
So you had to go in and order a Whopper and three patatas fritas.
Hamburguesa.
Yeah. And it was good then. I mean, we were traveling the same kind of experience, and a hamburger just tasted fantastic.
I think in Australia, Burger King is called Hungry Jacks, which is like very
Okay.
Yeah, I've also had it there. But it's better. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I want a taste of home. It seemed like no matter what your foreign vacation we go on, we always end up at some kind of American fast food place. KFC, McDonald's, or Burger King.
No, at some point that's a welcome respite, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did go to a Denny's as well after the marathon.
Oh.
But Denny's was like awesome.
Yeah.
They also had the minus 196, so my husband was very happy.
They serve booze at Denny's over there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Denny's over there was fantastic. It was up the street, Tom, from a hotel from the marathon tours. It was fantastic.
No, I didn't see that.
Well, I suppose we should kind of wrap it up. Now we're talking about food and we're all hungry. It's dinner time. Yeah. So yeah, Tokyo was a huge race. There's like 37,000 people that started and 1,500 people did not. But the four of us, we finished.
We made it.
It was a win. Oh my God. So all of you people out there, if you've ever wondered about running Tokyo or going to Japan, we've put your mind at ease. The course is manageable and you will love the adventure.
Love it.
So Tom, any final thoughts from you?
Oh, the people were great. The experience was not to be missed. I will always treasure the experience.
Rhea?
It's my favorite of the international majors, minus Sydney, because I haven't done that one yet. But I think Japan is so special, and the amount of care and organization and makes that race truly impeccable. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for being on today. I'm so happy you were able
Sally.
to join us.
For having us.
Nice to talk, Rhea.
Yeah, you as well, Tom.
In everything you do, gunbate. Is that right?
Ganbate.
That's
Gunbate.
right.
Do your best.
Arigato.
Arigato.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. If this story hits home, please share it with your friends. Subscribe. Support the podcast. Leave a review. Sign up for the Unstoppable newsletter or send me a message. I would really love to hear from you. And if you want to do something even bigger, donate now. Support our mission to raise $1 million for medical research. You can donate online at unstoppablestoriesthatmove.com or mail a check to P.O. Box 12, Afton, Minnesota 55001, USA. We can't get there without help from listeners like you. Together, we can save lives. I'm your host, Sally Hed Dahlquist. Thanks again for listening and keep moving forward.